Welcome back to another Lawyer Reacts. This one is about bed bugs, which is I've dealt a lot with bed bugs. I've dealt a lot with clients. I haven't dealt with bed bugs personally. I've had clients who have dealt with bed bugs. Bed bugs are annoying. Oh, they're gross. Okay, let's see. Let's see what happened.
This is the plaintiff, Lachette Brown. She says the defendant rented her an apartment which was infested with bed bugs. There was no way she would allow her kids to be in that environment. Moved out, and the landlord refuses to return her money. She doesn't know what the guy's thinking, keeping her $1,573, and needs the judge's help to get it back, so she's suing. This is the defendant, Karen Conyer. She says there were never any complaints of bed bugs with her former tenants, and she thinks the plaintiff was the one who brought them in. Bottom line, the plaintiff's looking for an excuse to get out of their deal on the apartment, and she thinks the judge will agree with her.
Based on the reaction of the plaintiff, I guess she's never heard that allegation against her. Bed bugs, they don't just like manifest out of nowhere. Like cockroaches will come, they'll find their way if there's food or, something. But bed bugs get brought in. Typically they're brought in through furniture, luggage, things like that. I've seen it a lot where tenants will get furniture off the street or used furniture and bring it in, and that will cause a bed bug infestation. But bed bugs, they are brought in. They don't just like manifest out of thin air. So if you have an apartment and let's say it's empty, the likelihood that there's bed bugs when someone moves in is not very high because typically they're attached to something. But it could be if the apartment had, let's say, carpet in it and the prior tenant brought in bed bugs and the bed bugs lived in the carpet, then it might be that when these people moved in, the plaintiffs moved in, that there was bed bugs. But we'll get to that.
With her because the law is on her side. She's accused of bugging a tenant.
Okay. All parties, please raise your right hand.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket, the plaintiff rented an apartment that was overrun with bed bugs and now can't get her security back. But the defendant says the plaintiff brought the bed bugs in. It's the case of the bed bugs bite, and so do you.
Lachette Brown, you are suing Karen Conyer, your former landlord, for $1,573 in security deposit, as well as you want your February rent returned to you because there were bed bugs. Tell me all about it.
My aunt and her husband came to me and said that they know where an apartment was for rent at. They know I was looking for an apartment, so I got the number from them and I called her. She set up a date. I came to look at the apartment, and it was okay.
Well, okay enough for you to decide you want to live there.
Yes,
All right.
because my mother wanted me out her house, and my two kids out her house.
Okay.
Yes.
How old are your kids?
My daughter is 17, and my son is 11.
Okay, so time to go.
Yes.
Time to go, everybody. Okay.
Yes.
So then,
well, she was evicting the last tenants that were there, so I'm bringing stuff. Her old tenants were moving stuff. So I was like, okay. I moved one bed and 2 chairs. And my daughter came that night to stay the night, and she found a bed bug on her arm. So my daughter started freaking out. She was like, Mom, it's a bed bug. First of all, she looked at it. She was like, oh, it's just a bug. And I looked closer. I was like, that's a bed bug. We got to go. We left that night. I catch the little bed bug and put it in the water bottle, which I showed her. And we left that night to go to my mom's house.
oh, that must have been something. Step on up, Mom. You got to see the faces she's putting. So they came back to your house with reports of bed bugs?
Yes, they called me about 11 o'clock at night. Wait, Mom, coming back to the house. I was like, for what? They're like, bed bugs in here.
Oh,
I'm
goodness.
like, oh, boy, here
All right,
goes
so
again.
you
But
go
come
back
on.
to the house, and you
Yeah.
spend how many nights at your mom's?
Ever since.
How many nights does she spend at your house?
Well, she is there still.
Okay, so they rent this place. She claimed there's bed bugs. She trapped it in a bottle. and she goes back to her mom's house. I don't know if she leased this apartment so that she could tell her mom, look I got an apartment, and had no intentions of actually moving in so that she could stay back with her mom. But apparently they left that night and have not been back since. Also, repause. Even if, let's say, there are bed bugs, you can do pest control treatment for bed bugs. I am not sure if bed bugs amounts to a reason to terminate the lease for either side. So I don't know if the landlord could terminate the lease because there's bed bugs. I don't know if she could terminate the lease for bed bugs. But also there's moving in and moving out of people apparently, like kind of simultaneously. So it's hard to track where these bed bugs could have come from.
So what do you tell the landlord? You tell the landlord there's bed bugs.
Yes.
And you're back there at some point because you show the bottle with the bed bug trapped in it.
Twice.
Okay.
Twice.
2 different bed bugs?
Yes.
Okay, go on.
The second time when I went back, it was a bunch of bed bugs.
Yeah,
Did you take a
they were
picture?
All over the wall.
Yes.
May I see the picture?
At that time, I had braids in my hair, and I thought the bed bugs were jumping my hair and stuff. So I did take a picture of one.
Okay. I get itchy just talking about this.
I'm still itching to this day,
Yeah.
and my mother won't let me bring my clothes in her house.
I don't blame her. Your mother barely lets you and your children in her house, okay?
Hey there.
All right, so this is a close-up picture, I guess, or pretty, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's one bed
I
bug?
zoomed the I zoomed the
I
camera.
know it's
and
hard to
did-
capture. I know.
I'm not going close, but yes.
Right, but you said the wall was full of bed bugs?
Yes.
Do you have a picture of a wall full of bed bugs?
Not a ball.
No, I was trying to get up out of there, Judge.
Okay.
I don't know if you understand. I had like braided extensions in my hair, long ones.
Well, whether your hair is braided or your hair isn't braided, I don't want a bed bug on my hair
right.
either.
Yeah.
Or
just
anywhere
was-
else on my body.
was
But
scary.
here's the thing, though. You tell her, and then what do you do, Ms. Conyer, when she tells you that there's bed bugs?
I had someone come and spray. I had a
How
professional.
quickly?
This is dated the 6th
The 6th of February?
of February.
Okay. And can I see that?
Yes,
You have a letter from the pest control company?
yes, yes.
Do you have proof of payment?
It's there.
How many apartments are in that building?
Just the two. The one I live in and one upstairs.
Okay, so do you have bed bugs?
No?
Bet you got bed bug bites.
I beg your pardon?
Her arms probably got bed bug bites.
Her arms do?
Yeah.
So if this tenant is the only one that had bed bugs, does that mean that the bed bugs came from that tenant?
Not necessarily.
Why?
Depends on who bears the burden. It's the burden of proof.
Right, but if it's only in one unit, we'll find out. Going inside the courtroom.
Let's see your arms.
I don't think the issue is whether the landlord brought the bed bugs in or not. Well, that's not an issue. The issue is whether the bed bugs came with the plaintiff when she moved in, or the bed bugs were in there as a result of the prior tenant moving out. If the landlord doesn't have bed bugs, that's really neither here nor there, because the issue isn't whether her unit downstairs had bed bugs. It's the issue about the unit upstairs having bed bugs. Asking her if she has bite marks on her arms is kind of neither here nor there, but okay.
I don't see him. Do you see
They
him?
were up there before because I saw her.
Okay. Here's the thing,
They were
guys.
red spots.
No one knows where the bed bugs come from.
I know.
Because the bed bugs ain't talking. And so if you have a bed bug situation, the smartest thing you might do is leave and just not look back. But the question is, who eats those expenses? You want her to pay you $1,573, but what did she do wrong? You tell her about bed bugs, and within a day, she's got somebody there spraying. What
Judge.
else does a landlord have to do?
She had the house sprayed not for bed bugs. She had the house sprayed for roaches.
No, you're wrong. No, you're wrong. I'm looking at the receipt. It says Target bed bugs, the 3 bedrooms, high heat treatment, vacuum, Boracare. That's bed bug treatment. So she did that on February 6th.
After I left?
Well, okay, I don't care. You left in 24 hours. I mean, you made.
Yeah, that's what I said. If there's bed bugs, again, don't know who brought them, but the landlord within a day treats it. Says, okay, here's a treatment for bed bugs. So the landlord did what the landlord needed to do. But if they have a signed lease, let's say it's a year-long lease, and she moves out, okay, she has free will to do that, but there's a financial penalty potentially for doing that, which is, you broke the lease, the landlord treated it.
You choose to do that, but again, what the law punishes is the neglect of the landlord. She's got to create a situation that's unlivable for you. You have no evidence that she sent the bed bugs in, okay? So the way you prove that is, the landlord neglected this horrible situation. That's not my fault. Okay, so we look to see what the landlord did. Immediately, she had somebody in there taking care of it. So if you change your mind and you prefer to live with your mom, which kind of looks like the case, which I don't blame you.
No,
She's
she
lovely.
paid rent.
Okay, and I'm not sure what bad conduct on her part you want me to punish.
Can we
Now,
call her
you
last
have a $400 security deposit there,
Yes.
correct? All right, and you kept the security deposit.
I used $220 of it to get oil for her apartment.
But why? If do you have a written lease with them or no?
No.
Okay. And why would she have to pay that?
They're responsible for their own heat.
Okay. Now what? Okay. Are you responsible for your own heat?
Judge, when I moved in, it wasn't supposed to be that oil.
She told us.
She said it was a different type.
You have to have a lease. Have to have a lease, because now it's going to be a matter of who pays the utilities. It's a duplex, right? The landlord lives downstairs and the tenant lives upstairs. I don't know if it's master metered. I don't know if there's two separate meters, but you should have a lease, because then it states who's going to pay what utilities.
It was a different type of heating.
She told you what?
Could I explain?
Yeah.
She told us, because I went with my daughter, she says everything in the house was total electric. We didn't know that it had
That's where something
Oil.
in writing comes in handy, right?
Yeah.
Because
When I made up the lease and I gave it to her to sign, she never signed it.
let me see the lease you made up. And
I didn't bring it.
Oh, you also don't have that?
Okay. Another thing. You don't give keys until you have a signed lease and you've collected first month's rent and security deposit. You don't give keys. You don't let them move in until you have that signed. Beginning and end of the story. And you've got paid.
Enough to sign it. I wasn't there long enough to sign
You're
it,
supposed to
Judge.
sign the lease. If there's a lease to be
Right.
signed, it should be signed before your toe
Before we could
goes
actually
over the
sign it.
threshold. There's a $400 security deposit, correct? And then you kept $220 because of the oil, and
I
the
used
rest
$220 of it.
you used $220 to buy the oil. And according to you, that's her responsibility. According to her, nobody ever told her about it. And by the way, the oil's there, right? Like the oil that was purchased for $220 didn't go anywhere. She didn't take it with her when she left.
No,
it's
it's
there.
there.
All right. Now, the rest of the money you're keeping because what? There was damage?
Someone let go of something coming down that they put down the stairs, and it gouged the stairs as they let it go.
Let me see a picture.
Judge, I moved in
you
as
see a
other people
picture.
was moving out.
Okay.
They could have done it.
How will you know whether it's those nasty tenants that were getting evicted, that still had stuff there, that made those gouges and those scratches, or her? How do you know which of them did it? You don't.
You're right.
Right. So you can't charge it to her. So if you can't charge that to her,
Another thing, you don't have people moving in and out on the same day. The fact that the prior tenants were being evicted, I think a lot of stuff is going to fall on them simply because they're not there to respond and they were being evicted. But yeah, the damage could have been from them or could have been from the plaintiff, but you don't really know. You don't seem to have cameras. So there's hard to document that. And you don't have a lease. So the idea of breaking a lease, she might be able to get the first month's rent out of the tenant because there's not a 30-day notice. She moved in and didn't move out, or she immediately moved out. But it's the oil, the oil is on site, so the landlord can continue to use the oil. The lady was only there for like a day. But that one's kind of 50-50 on how you would deal with that.
her and I don't think it's fair for you to charge the oil because you have it. Then you need to return her security deposit. And I don't think you can pin the bed bugs on the landlord. What the landlord has a requirement to do is to attempt to mitigate any situation that could come up with roaches, mice, bed bugs, anything. because you could have brought in the bed bugs when you moved in. Put your hands down and listen. We're done. I know you don't like it. That doesn't mean I'm going to change my mind. The bed bugs did not testify.
No.
They did not say they came from her instead of you. That's just the nature of bed bugs. So what the law requires the landlord to do is address it. You need to address it. She did. She addressed it right away. Or that it's her. No, we're done. We're done. We're done. And you are lucky that she is not counterclaiming, because if she were counterclaiming, she might think of saying something like this: if the bed bugs aren't my fault, Judge, and I didn't get 30 days notice, I should get March, right? But lucky you, she's not counterclaiming. So I rule in your favor in the amount of $400.
Thank you.
All right.
We learned many things here. 1, sign a lease. 2, don't give keys until you have a signed lease and the move-in funds, the first month's rent and the security deposit. Also, if you move in and then immediately claim bed bugs, you could potentially be on the hook for at least 30 days, because your 30-day notice, so to speak, starts the day you move out. If you move out the first day, the clock starts there. I agree with the landlord I agree with the judge saying that the landlord did what they could. The next day, they sent someone out there to address for bed bugs. Common thing that sometimes happens in this is that tenants will claim bed bug and then they won't let the landlord treat. That's always a problem, and that then goes back on the tenant. You don't have a reason to delay when a landlord wants to come in and do some sort of pest control treatment. It's, pretty important. And the landlord did what they were supposed to do, immediately sent someone to address it. I have a feeling that she didn't really want to be moving into this place, and she found some issue. She found this bed bug issue. Still don't know if there's bed bugs. It got treated for bed bugs. Not entirely certain that it was bed bugs. I'm not a specialist in bugs, so I don't know what the photo that she took. Don't know. Also, I've never really seen bed bugs climb on a wall, and she also doesn't have a photo of them all over the wall. So in that sense, it really seemed like she didn't want to pay rent and she didn't want to be here, but she had to show her mom that she was making efforts to move out, because now she's still with the mom and still hasn't moved out. So another one of those things. Moving photos are very important. Move-in photos. Also, don't move out one tenant the same day you're moving in one. If you have to lose as a landlord 1 day of rent money, lose it. But do kind of a clean transaction, so when you have the tenant moving out, you can look at the property and go, okay, they damaged the stairs before the new tenant coming in, because she has no idea one way or the other who damaged it, so she's eating the cost of the damage. That is my 2 cents on that. If you like this one, you might like my other lawyer reacts to many of the same scenarios of landlord-tenant disputes. In the meantime, thank you for stopping by, and I'll see you in the next one.